Welcome to the Virgo channel. My name is Lauren. I'm going to do a general message for Virgo. Know that energy is fluid, so roles can be reversed, flip it, switch it, twist it. Just interpret the message as it best resonates for you. Never force anything. Take what you need, leave the rest. All right. Now, also know that the type of readings that I do are shadow healing readings. So will I look to see what your person's doing, what they have done, what they will do, what they do feel? Yes. But the most important thing that we do on this channel is to look at what the spiritual blocks are, because the spiritual blocks are psychological and emotional, and our behaviorisms are built on those psychological blocks. So understanding how a person thinks, why they think what they think, looking at a person's intention allows you to navigate the relationship better. It allows you also to break karmic contracts. It allows you to break karmic cycles, because karmic cycles are just situations that continue to repeat. So you may date a specific type of person, and that person might not be emotional, intelligent. Let's just say every single relationship, it's like that. Even if you don't date for 5-10 years, or you can have issues within finances and abundance, that every time you get a job, then someone bullies you. You keep reliving the experience of victimization. So we can have spiritual blocks anywhere in our life. And the reason why we do readings a lot of times is because we want to find security. We want to feel safe. We don't feel safe. That's why we're asking. That's why we're searching. Now, spiritual energy always goes to the person that needs to hear the message. Actually, anything spiritual energy works like a magnet. Whatever it is, if it's a person, that person that's like you comes to you. Now, you may say, well, I'm not an asshole. That person was an asshole to me. That person's rude. They don't have good character. Well, unfortunately, there's only two energies, love and fear. So if you go into a relationship nervous because you've been cheated on 1,000 times, well, guess what? Unfortunately, you might attract not a nervous person, but someone that's shady, because what you're focusing on is the shady behavior. See, so we want to know how to stop certain behaviorisms. And you might say, well, how the hell do you stop your mind after you've gone through an experience that is traumatizing? Well, you have to integrate the spiritual lesson. You have to see a different perception of your situation. That will allow you to feel empowered. That will allow you to transmute the negative energy. Otherwise, you'll stay in a repeating pattern. So when we see like family karma, ancestral karma, it means that those habits, those behaviorisms were passed down from your grandparents, your great-grandparents, your great-great-great-grandparents. Actually, it says in the Bible, 700 generations. And unfortunately, the people 700 years ago were not as evolved. Why? They didn't have computers. The knowledge that they had access to was limited. And we were more primitive. We lived more from a survival state consciousness, which is a fear state consciousness, one that focuses on food, shelter, clothing, or survival. Instead of thriving, now we're smart, we're evolved. The age of Aquarius is all about awakening into your true potentiality. And that happens when you know how to shadow heal, when you know how to spiritually heal. Then one day heaven will be on earth. And it's through the character of man. Because let me tell you something, negative energy, it happens because we're stuck in a perception. And that perception a lot of times makes us feel limited, makes us feel fearful, makes us feel disempowered. And that disrespects the spirit. The spirit part of self is God part of self. Actually, you have Your spirit is you. That's the essence of you. Then there's the soul, and you are part of the soul, which is of the collective mind, which is of Christ consciousness, which is of the God. Or you may say universe, the laws of the universe. That because really God is just the universe. We wouldn't know what that was though, because it's difficult. It's not like a tangible thing. It's like air. So it's like nothing. And no, it's actually the most powerful energy that there is. It's manifestation energy. And we actually have that energy inside of us. And we're supposed to be able to channel that energy. And so that we're actually an expression of unconditional love, because God, the universe, that energy is just unconditional love. But when we get triggered and we get angry and we feel jealous and we feel victimized, we feel betrayed, we feel, again, that energy is not who we are. That's a perception of who we are. And what's traumatic is the karma that comes from the actions and the behaviorisms that are rooted in those belief systems. So like I said, in order to quantum jump, in order to see a new reality, and that's actually what you need to do to heal, you have to walk through the fire. But it all begins with awareness. So just because we do the awareness on this channel, because you might be like, oh, I'm stuck in a block where I keep dating the same types of people, and Laura's reading was right on. And just because you have a new awareness doesn't mean that you have cleared that spiritual block. You are your own healer. I'm just a conduit for spirit to speak, to tell you what you need, but you have to take the action. You have to change the behaviorisms. And most of all, you got to love yourself enough to show up to do it. And when you have a root chakra imbalance, a lot of times we don't. We're like, I want someone else to love me. I feel like I don't have energy because I don't feel loved. But the key is to love yourself. Remember, whatever you want to attract, you have to become. Now, if you're new to my channel, and you want to get a free reading with me, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and write the word of the day. What the hell is the word of the day? The word of the day is always taken from my psychic soul healer. And the word, it could actually be 2 words of the day. It doesn't necessarily need to be 1 word. Sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 3. Because sometimes there's phrases in my cards. Again, it's all shadow healing. But know that the word of the day is also going to be the underlying energy of the reading, is how the reading starts. So we ask spirit, I don't want to cards if they fall, don't want them to fall like on all over the floor. Okay, let's see what the word is. Cycle of life. You are going to write these 3 words in your comment bar. Cycle of life. You'll know if I chose you if I wrote the word winner underneath. If I did, you and I would just correspond back and forth on YouTube, figure out the day and time that works for both of us. So, cycle of life. When I feel that, what is that? It's almost like you think of birth and then death, birth and then death. And you can think of ancestors. You think of family. You think of even experiences and situations that you go through for a period of time, right? I mean, the cycle of life could be anything. It doesn't necessarily need to be human being. It could be even a karmic cycle, because everything's energy, your energy. So the cycle of life could be good, it could be bad. Obviously, with people, human beings, when we're talking about it to be good, we're talking about, like being born, like I said, living a good life and then dying, and things that have a certain amount of life to them. But if we're talking about spiritual issues, we could be talking about, again, a spiritual issue that lasts for a certain amount of time. And that usually happens because we have an awakening. We have a new awareness. So cycle of life is that we're going to see how that actually ties in. Now we could tie in with ancestral, like something that you have inherited or something that your person has inherited, because we're going to see how your spiritual blocks are triggering your person, how their blocks and vice versa are triggering you, and how those blocks play out karmically, so that if you don't like a person's intention, if you don't like what you're seeing, you're able to actually be able to see what you need to do to change that situation, to change the situation you're in. Because like I said, we all have the power to create our own reality. Now, does that mean that it's a smooth ride? No, because you're an emotional being. And when you're dealing with someone that you do care about, you're still going to get triggered, because when you need healing, you're insecure. When you need healing, there's a sense of expectation, there's a sense of ownership, there's a sense of expecting people to be a certain way, and when they're not that way and they challenge the way that we think, it's triggering. And so it's just making us aware, because we are getting someone that we're really are attracted to. There's a lot of chemistry. A lot of times it could be the best relationship, or it could be the worst relationship. That's why they say twin flames, soulmates, past life. They like, when it's great, it's great, and when it's horrible, it's the worst thing ever, because it draws up a lot of emotional energy. And so, like I said, our relationships, and actually every single situation that happens within your life, the people that come into your life, the situations that unfold within your life, happen due to your energy. So if we're talking about cycle of life, we definitely want, if it's something negative, we're hoping that that cycle is coming to an end. Okay, so now to actually get into the reading, let's see, like the energy, like what your person's feeling, like just what you're feeling. And we'll see intuitively where I am drawn to who is who, like what happens. I mean, sometimes it's you that comes out, sometimes it's your person. Now, again, it's going to be mainly, I may say that it's you, and it could be a person. It's going to be up to you to decipher. Okay. I feel like I can be myself around you. You feel like home to this person. So I feel like you're a soulmate. This person, there is someone keeping me from you. So again, they have a third party, mental health, and it's creating a lot of not just mental imbalances, but emotional ones. So I'm feeling like your person, the end, the cycle of life here is that your person is connected to someone that relationship is on its way out. And I feel like the person that they're connected to doesn't want them to move, doesn't want them to move on. Now, I'm not feeling like there was a big love affair, but I definitely feel like there's a connection. Twin flame journey. And I feel like you are on a twin flame journey with this person. So you're a twin flame with this person. And this person, I don't think was aware that, I think they always knew that they were connected to someone that they didn't really have true feelings for. That's the feeling there. But they were contented because they have children, they have money together, they've accumulated things together. So they were okay sleepwalking until now, where I feel like you're on a twin flame journey with this person. And part of the twin flame journey is that there's a lot of separation and there's a lot of getting back together. The passion and the chemistry before this type of relationship is extremely strong. And remember, your twin flame is someone that you knew in a past life, possibly many lifetimes. So you've agreed to meet up in every single lifetime to learn certain life lessons. So you know, there has to be a lot of passion, a lot of love is what I'm getting at. And especially if your person is leaving their person for you when they were okay with living that way, you know, for a long time. But I believe that there's a lot of tower moments going on right now because we're in spiritual times. So anything that's not working in people's lives right now, it's coming crashing down. Things that have been imbalanced, things that have not worked, you know. And when you're in a relationship with someone that you don't really love, there's not really the passion. It's lived. It becomes boring. And I believe for a long time, your person was very bored in this connection. However, they dealt with it, and they dealt with it cheating. They dealt with it by, like I said, just, you know, focusing on the good aspects of what they have accomplished with this person. But they weren't happy. Now that you know, the person that they're connected to is keeping them from you, there's a lot of emotion between those two, between your person and the person that they are leaving, because there was a lot of compensation where I believe the person that was connected to your person like overgave in hopes to like emotionally get back, never emotionally got what they needed, but stayed because, again, financial reasons, stayed because they had other things, they accumulated other things. However, that the person that's connected to your person doesn't want to leave their situation. They're comfortable. Your person now wants to leave their situation, and possibly because you coming into their life has made them aware that they can have actually everything. They can have, you know, business, money, they can have, and then they can have the love of their life and not be in a mediocre relationship. So will you give me a second chance? And so is what came out before. I feel like I can be my true self, which I read before. That's Twin Flame Journey. You feel familiar to me. But like I said, the mental health is creating a lot of emotional turbulence. So almost where I feel like the third party is acting bipolar. And I'm actually feeling as if your person is getting really like angry and then depressed and doing things to try and escape what they feel. Because again, the relationship should have ended a long time ago. But the person that's connected to them is like, no, I want this to keep going. So you're in separation with this person, and now they feel bad because they are with this person. And I'm feeling as if they told you that they were going to get me out of that connection a long time ago. So let's look at your triggers. Abuse. I have had enough of the abuse treatment. You will no longer hurt me again. So I believe that there's a sense that because this person has been in and out of your life, that you feel almost like they're like, you know, like abusing you. And so, and though you say this, I am also feeling like they won't be able to hurt you again because you're not the same person that you were. But there still is a soul connection. There still is love there. And why am I saying this? The reason why is because soulmate twin flame journeys, they're not easy. They're going to trigger the shit out of you. Again, your wounds, their wounds. I believe that this person needed to figure out a way to get out of their connection a long time ago, but prematurely told you, Virgo, that they were going to leave, but they never really had a plan or figured anything out and never really did anything. They don't like to create conflict, but the problem is they don't realize that the person that's connected to them knows that they don't want to be there with them. So they're going to do everything to you know, manipulate them. I'm also feeling abuse, like this is your person saying to this their karmic person that you're not going to be able to do this to me anymore. But I also feel like you're like, I'm not the same person. So if you're going to plan on coming back, I'm not going to be putting up with this shit with you coming in and out with this. So there's the sense like you've changed, you've hardened. And I feel like your person knows that a little bit now. Forgotten, I felt invisible and forgotten by you as if I never existed. Yeah, because that's the abuse. It's like you abandoned me. You abandoned me. Like, it's like you, and not because your person doesn't care about you. They do care about you. This is a twin flame relationship that they're willing to change their entire life for you, but they're not a strong person. They're not a psychologically strong person. They have inner child wounds. Let's look at their wounds in order to see what the shadows are so we can like actually help them. Now, this could be you, Virgo, being stuck in a relationship that you need to get out of, but not really knowing how to get out of because you're connected to someone that's extremely manipulative. But that's why this happened. So this popped out automatically. Again, a rebellion. It's almost like, okay, well, like this person was seen as bad. They don't want to be seen as bad. I'm almost feeling as if your person grew up in a very religious environment. They grew up like with rules about staying married, about staying with their baby mama, by staying in a relationship that they've invested in. So they feel as if they're bad. And understand they wouldn't be able to feel bad by anyone if they didn't feel bad about themselves to begin with. Your person's connected to a karmic person that's keeping their energy low, making them feel bad about them because your person doesn't love them. So it's like they're told every day they're bad, they're bad, they're bad, they're bad. They're starting to believe it. And it's almost like that karmic personality is so overbearing that it paralyzes your person. Lies and secrecy. It's against, yeah. So like there's a sense that the karmic has made your person into a liar, kind of like, and this happens a lot of times. Like if you grow up with an abusive parent, or maybe a very strict parent, might not even been abusive, just very strict, or maybe they weren't strict. Maybe you were just nervous of your parents. So anytime that your parents asked you something and you thought that they would get mad, you'd lie. Well, I feel like your person lied a lot to this karmic because they don't love this person. They don't really want to be with this person, but they stay as long as they had the freedom. Now they don't have freedom. There's almost a sense as if the noose has gotten tighter, like that karmic just, like the relationship needs to end and your person needs to be the one that does it. And the thing is, you got two people living in a house where there's so much tension, you can cut it with a knife because two people are staring at each other, waiting for who's going to do what, because there's lies and secrecies, because your person doesn't want to be with this karmic and the karmic knows it but doesn't want them to leave. So it's like a whole thing. So if you're not feeling your person, this is why. And they just keep feeling like if when I talk to you, you'll understand. When I talk, you'll understand. And I feel like if you will give this person a chance, I'm kind of feeling like one of your wounds, and I've been getting this a lot, like within the readings for Virgo. So Southern Virgos must really need to hear this, that yes, this person is your twin flame. Yes, it does have the potential, but you need to be patient. You also need to not react because this person, I'm feeling as if they didn't know what to do, so they just ghosted you because you just felt forgotten about. and you feel like it's abuse, like it's in and out, back and forth. I don't really trust you. You make me nervous. But they're like, if I can talk to you. I also feel like you may feel like there's a lot of lies and secrecy, but I feel as if your person is going to come and talk to you. They want to talk to you. They want to fix this. If they're changing their entire life and leaving this like situation, because like I said, it would be a lot easier for them to stay in this situation. Being blind, you refuse to see the truth about the matter. Take a step back and look at it with open eyes. And I'm kind of feeling that's for you, Virgo, that you may be like, no, you've done this too many times. No, but I believe that your person is going through a lot of shit right now with them leaving this person. This person does not want them to leave. And they are dealing with it. They're dealing with it their way. You're not a part of that way, but you feel abandoned. But I'm kind of feeling like your person, well, I'm going to ask because I don't want to speak for them why they did that, why they just ghosted. But I'm kind of feeling like this person, like I said, is a little prideful, and maybe that's where they need healing, that they need to show their vulnerability. It's not so much that they're blind, that you're blind because you're like, you don't want to put yourself in their shoes. And they, again, may not want to put themselves in your shoes because of everything that they're dealing with. They're like, you're my twin flame. I know that we're going to be together. I can feel you. You can feel me. Where it's again, where we'll be able to work this out. Hiding gifts. You aren't using all of your spiritual talents. Yeah, your person that refuses to tap into their intuition. So they're coming more from a strategy place, but also a survival mind, and that's a very logical mind. So it's again, they're kind of stuck and stupid a little bit because the person that they're connected to creates a lot of anxiety for them. And so they, like I said, are so busy focused on what that person is going to do that they're not really giving you time, you attention. But that's what the karmic knows. Karmic knows as soon as they leave, they're going to someone. They may not know that it's you, but they know that they're out of there. And so the karmic's like, well, I can't really do anything about that, but I can ruin and sabotage the connection that they're going to. And I think that your person was so busy worried about like just getting away and protecting what little assets that they have, or maybe if they have children or other things that they just couldn't focus on you as well. So let's see what they think, more about what they think, or about what they're going to do. Okay, this one just slipped over. As twin flames, we are here to ascend and help others to do the same. So there's a sense of like what Spirit is saying is like they feel like you're their person, that you're going to understand, and that you being there would help them to like leave their situation because there's a connection. They feel safe with you. They feel comfortable with you. And so, like I said, and there is passion there. It's not like they don't, but they can see a life with you. And again, and that would help them to like, leave their situation. Please don't give up on me. I'm trying to change, but it takes time. But they know that they're moving slowly. They know that they're don't judge this, just surrender. I know it's triggering, but from a higher perspective, it's clearing energy and bringing us closer together. So, like I said, there's a sense like this person hasn't been here for you. So would be like a little bit like, screw you, you've been over there, because they haven't told you anything. They didn't tell you anything, but there's a sense that they're trying to hand this relationship over to God. I don't really even feel like that they're a spiritual person, but they're like, I can't control it. I don't know what's going to happen. But they believe because you have such a strong connection with them and they have never experienced that before. Because this person was able to live in a dead relationship for a long time. They compensated. I'm not saying that they didn't cheat. I'm not saying that they didn't like do other things to escape, but they were okay. Like they were okay living sleepwalking, you know. And I believe that the karmic has always been able to lure them back in. I long to sweep you off your feet and shower you with my love. They miss you and they want this relationship. I mean, there's a lot of passion here. Unfortunately, there's no movement here with them coming towards you, but that's mainly because the karmic is keeping them, and then it's not even so much that, it's anxiety, it's fear, it's the whole change. Now, my thing for you is I feel like, being that if you have wounds of abandonment, which again, I'm feeling like you do, because that's why you're like, I felt like I was forgotten about. I feel like it's abuse. You're in, you're out, you don't take me seriously, you don't respect me. So I'm believing that this has nothing to do with you, that like this has to do with what this person's going through. So it's going to require you to, like, again, to kind of give this one to this person if you want to be with them. And that means like it means being compassionate when they come back. It means to listen to what they say instead of being like, no, you weren't here, you went over there. If you really cared about me, you'd be over here. You should have been strong enough to leave. She shouldn't have had that power. That's not gonna fix it. Even though I'm feeling like you'll want to say that, that would be because you were triggered because you've had a wound. So this is a situation that you're being asked to look at it differently and to be compassionate, because someone else was going through a situation. And then you could say, you know, it did make me feel later on down the line or over like the next couple of weeks in a nice way, because this person is going to come to you fragile. They're going to come to you not really feeling so strong, because that karmic is like, is brittle. I'm feeling like it, that person wants to really like rip them a new one. It's like, you know that saying, if I can't have you, no one will. Well, that's what I'm kind of feeling. Like she's like, she or he is like, there's an energy. I can't stop thinking about you. So again, I believe also they haven't come to you, because if you were to say, I'm not interested, they wouldn't be able to they wouldn't be able to deal with it. I left you before you could leave me. Yeah. And they just bowed out and didn't say anything to you and ghosted you, because you would have been like, I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to deal with that person. So they kind of just left it open in hopes to be like, well, I can come back and I can explain. But if you know now, then by the time I actually get out of this, you'll be long gone. Because I think that they thought that they were going to get out of this a lot sooner. So now they're kind of happy that they did it this way, but they also know that you're not happy. I wish I could share my good news with you. And I feel like their good news is that they're getting out, that they are leaving, that they've made that decision. So even if they haven't taken action, they want to come and tell you, like, I know what I want. Finding out the truth crushed me. I feel like that, like, again, I feel like that doesn't even have to do with you. I feel like that has to do with just like the karmic not really ever caring about them, about their life, how it's like falling apart. Like, I feel like they thought that because the marriage or the connection that they were living, coinciding together for a long time and not really getting along, living two separate lives, that they could still like live this way. But like that they would be able to not still live this way, but end on good terms, that they would still be able to remain co-parenting, like doing things without animosity towards each other. And what your person is seeing is that the person that they're connected to is an animal that is creating a lot of turmoil inside of them. So they're not just afraid, because they're dealing with someone that's emotionally not stable, and it's making them very like out of balance as well, which when people are out of balance, they trigger each other a lot. But it's also the fact of, they never cared really about them. That is like, oh, well, you stayed because of money. You stayed because, or you don't really care about me. You told me the whole time that you cared about me, when I'm realizing that you're manipulative this whole time. You're keeping me from who I want to be with. And I kind of feel like they shared with that karmic, because that karmic came across as a friend. They talked to them and was like, yeah, I understand that we're not going to really be together, and that's okay, that you're going to live your life and blah, 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 blah. But karmic was full of shit. Didn't really want this person to move on, pretended to be a friend. So I think what crushed them is that. And now they're a little crushed just in general, because they're like, I don't know who I can trust. So like I said, this person's going to be extremely, extremely vulnerable and a little bit needy, and they're not going to be that cocky person that I feel like you met when you first met this person. Like, this person seemed extremely confident, rebellious, maybe even, they don't want to seem rebellious like with their family and the people that they were associated with. So I feel like they were a little bit rebellious with you in the fact of not telling you anything, not making you feel as important, coming in and out, like downplaying this connection, trying to make it like they didn't really care that much. And I don't think that they thought that this was going to go on for as long as it went on. So what's the advice? How do we deal with it? Because I'm telling you right now, one way that you will need to deal with it is not to freak out, not to be reactionary, even though that's a wound. You don't want to do that. You won't get a good response, like I said. And that, if you take away anything from this reading, that's what it is to say, well, I have a wound of, abandonment and of people just not valuing me, people not respecting my feelings. And this person made me feel that way. But then you need to put yourself in their shoes. And then when you do, it will diffuse that trigger, so you won't have that emotional charge. And then you can approach this person in a calm way and not making the person defensive and saying, well, it kind of like surprised me that you didn't, say anything to me about your situation, or tell me, or, but the person needs to feel safe in order to communicate. And this person has a bad way of lying. Like, they lie in their secrets, because being with someone that you don't really trust, and now this person does not trust that karmic. So it's like they lie, and they lied to them before because they didn't really care about them. It's like in that way, they care about them, but they don't care about them like, well, I want to have this mad, passionate love affair with you. I don't see you in that way. I see you as like a friend. It's like only like that karmic is like, no, we're going to stay in this relationship, but because I'm not changing what my life looks like. instead of really like, they don't want to go out shopping, meet somebody new, you know, they don't want to have to do all that. They don't want to, they're comfortable where they are. And they're like, well, I'm miserable. You made me miserable. You were with me. You made me miserable. You haven't done anything. I've given, so you need to stay with me. That's what I'm really feeling. So the person's like crazy. So how do we deal with it? Okay, joy. Like joy came out, and elevation. Joy. Like a child, I discovered joy in the simplicity of life. Happiness lies in magical moments, not in the material. Even the smallest joy is a great source of light. So this is all about grounding yourself and doing things to keep your mind occupied while this person is dealing with their situation. And part of joy, like it to me, is like you find yourself. You find yourself by knowing really what you like, and by feeding what you like. It really does fill you up with passion and happiness and makes you a magnet for that. And that will be strong. Like you need to do that because the person that's coming to you that is your twin flame is not in a good place. You're never meeting your twin flame in the same place. They're not evolved like at the same level that you are. They're your other half, but what that means is that they have spiritual blocks where you have gifts. So again, where your blocks are, they have gifts. So it creates almost like as if you're whole, but they don't think the way you think, they don't act the way that you act, they don't do as you do. So they're not coming to you in the place of, a lot of times twin flames meet during transitional times, turbulent times. It's when that twin flame comes into your life, they're changing your life, or it's during a big change in your life and they're coming in to assist you during that change. But which means that there's a lot of emotional energy, there's a lot of nervous energy, there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of into the unknown, and you're also not strong if you're attracting this person and this person's your soulmate twin flame. So maybe on an emotional level you're stronger than they are, but you're still not strong. So it doesn't mean that you won't be triggered. So how are you going to diffuse that trigger? With joy. By joy. It's like if I'm in passion, if I'm in happiness, I can't be nervous. And that there's other things that bring me that emotional comfort. There's those other things that bring me happiness. And then elevation. I free myself from fear and trust the universe. I direct my thoughts to the beauty inside and around me. I use my spiritual strength and knowledge to create light, and I rise above all doubt. So understand, it doesn't mean that you don't have blocks, but you're being asked to elevate. And how you elevate, understand, a lot of times with soulmate twin flames, there is that separation where they separate, they get back together, separate, come back together. There's a runner, there's a chaser. We know this. And the reason why is during that separation, both those twin flames are still thinking about the person. They have such a 3D connection. What they're realizing is, I still care about this person. I still love this person. I still want to be with this person, even with everything, even with all the changes going on in my life. It's almost like, and so you have to know that twin flame is a divine connection. Now you might be like, oh, well, no, not every twin flame works. No, they're hard relationships. So you have to be ready for the relationship. It's the passion, it's the chemistry that makes you want to stick around. But it's a hard relationship because they don't think the way that you do. Their approach to life isn't. If anything, they're going to trigger every single block and awaken everything that's not supposed to be inside of you in order for you to look at it, to do the work, to do something different. The passion that the twin flame has with their partner is actually what transmutes that pain, that negative energy. That's why it's hot. That's why there's a lot of romance. That's why the passion is the fire that actually ignites the Kundalini energy that helps pierce through those blocks. And at the same time, you're learning how to communicate without being triggered, how to be in a relationship without being triggered, because there's trauma. Now, depending on how much trauma, I just feel as if it's the end of a cycle for your person to be with this karmic that's keeping them stuck. It's also the end of a cycle for you and this person to be in separation. You guys will be coming together. They want a second chance. They don't know when. But what I'm saying is it's in their frame of mind, where before they didn't really know whether they could even leave the karmic. Now they're like, I'm confident I can leave the karmic, and the karmic knows this. And they're very nervous, where they weren't nervous before. You need to, again, elevate, which is you need to go to the higher mind, higher consciousness. And that's, by looking at the situation through your heart and not through your wound. And that's by putting yourself in this person's shoes, and then putting yourself in this energy to raise your vibration, so that, again, you're not codependent on this person. You're the example for this person, so that they can step into who they're supposed to step into. You are that person's muse by your actions, because of the way you conduct yourself. You have to realize a soulmate twin flame relationship is a divine union. It's a karmic one because it's all about lessons, and it's all about needing to learn. And I believe that you and your person has incarnated many lifetimes. So the passion is very strong. The connection is very strong, but understand the wounds are deep. And that's why you're getting this relationship. And it's almost like you can't control it, though you want to control it. You want to be like, that's it, I want to end this. But only for 2 days later, you to be like, oh, is that person thinking about me? Let me call a psychic, and where you feel like a crazy person. That's why they say there's a fine line between love and hate, and that love makes you crazy, because all those statements are true. Because we go through experiences that create trauma. And in this one, your person has been connected to this person, and God only knows how many other relationships where, they gave too much power to the person that they were with, to the point that now that it's time for them to actually make a choice and do what they need to do for themselves, they feel bad about it. And to the point that they're being able to be manipulated, instead of, because really, how do we get manipulated? We care. We sit there, we're listening to that person more than we're listening to ourselves. And your person also had that other whammy of growing up in an environment that people didn't divorce. So don't want to seem like a rebel, go against the entire family, don't want to seem as if they're bad or not kind, but they're doing it at the cost of themselves. So they also need to, like I said, raise their vibration and realize that not giving to themselves is not what God or the universe wants. It wants them to find their balance in the situation, which is take care of the karmic, do what they need to do, but in the right way. And then take care so that they can take care of themselves, so that they can then be in a relationship that's going to make them happy and make them strive and thrive. So I almost feel like your person feels like the karmic is like a dead weight. It's like a responsibility. And so that they don't have any joy in their life. It's just, you're just kind of there. And I need to take care of you. And you now monitor every little thing that I do because you don't trust me. And so I have no freedom because you have so much control. Because maybe finances are connected, children, whatever is binding them, like it just needs at this point to like end and it's on the verge. It's just your person is still in that healing and wants you to be patient. So if you're patient, it's there for you, Virgo. I'm going to leave it there. If you like this video, let me know. Give me a like, subscribe to the channel always, and write the word in your comment bar. And the word again, what was it? I said it all through. I said it all through this, and now I'm not going to be able to find the stupid word. Because that's just the way that it goes, you know? But it's just write the word because I can't find it. And now that I need to recall it, I can't, because that's how psychic energy works, in the mind and out. So, you know, we don't hold on to anything. It's just, again, pops in and then goes out. So if you don't want to rewind the video, just write the word healer in your comment bar, and I will say that that is the word. Oh, cycle of life. See? As soon as I said forget it, that's when it pops in. And that's just like spiritual energy too. It's like when we want to know, and we're trying to figure it out, you're not going to get it. It's when you take your mind off of it, then the intuition comes in. So you can write the word cycle of life, or if you don't want to, you can write the word healer, and I'll accept it. All right, guys, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.